So those are, so what kind of problems in the real world can robots solve? Yeah.
Like if like a computer thing is wrong, or if like this it's hard to say. Sometimes I heard they use robots that operate people.
They use them in like hospitals, right? Any other ideas? Yeah.
Like they can solve math puzzles.
Yeah. What other things can robots do?
Bomb squad. Send that
Right,
robot
save
in to
lives.
take care of hazardous business.
What kind of technologies do those kind of robots use? You guys know? You can't, right? You need some language to program it in. You need a computer to program it on. Oh, like the logic blocks? Yeah. You need some way to have logic to make the robot do something. They also use sensors. You guys use something other than, or you guys put something other than a light sensor on your robot. You guys remember what it was? Yeah. Right? A motor, but something else too. Almost there. Gyroscope, gyrosensor, yeah. So many robots in the real world use gyrosensors because it helps the robot keep track of like where it is in the world, kind of things. Right, or it knows like it turned 90 degrees or something, right? Like just like we were trying to do. So can you guys think of any other problems that robots solve? They send robots into space, right?
Yeah.
They just put them on Mars. You guys know what that one's called?
Satellite.
The Mars rover. You guys heard that one? So they use robots to go to other planets to kind of collect information about it. Right, and they send that information back. So I actually work on something similar. I work on rocket systems for the military. I do guidance and control. And it all started because of my experience with First Robotics. And so both these girls on the team, and they're going to tell you about it.
So I started exactly pretty much the same as you were. Off at camps that they had, and I learned about it. I actually got myself my own kit, and I joined the team, and I worked all the way up to FRC robots, and it's pretty cool. We've learned. I've been on a team competing with many different people. I've met so many different people through First Lego League. It's awesome because it's something that I grew up with as a child. I played with Legos all the time with my brother. So now I use them and I can make them into robots, which led me on to FRC team, which I now get to make them all from scratch.
And can you do this more?
I've been doing robotics for about 5 years now, and I started exactly where you guys are. I started as on the First Lego League team, and I did that for about 2 years, and I wanted to do more than that, because these small little Lego robots inspired me to go beyond just Legos. So I decided to join the high school robotics team, where we build the big metal robots. One of the ones that we built was over there in that corner. And I walked into our workshop not knowing a single thing. I'm like, I don't know how to use any of these tools. I'm not very experienced in all that, but the team and the program basically taught me up to the point that I needed to join the to be on the team and do what I want on the team. It's more than just building robots. There's so many different jobs you can do on the team. You don't have to be some Einstein to be on a team. You can also just do other stuff in the team for like, I don't know what are some of those, business-wise. You can do the mechanical, you can do the programming. I do the photography for the team. I take pictures for the team. What else?
You're also on the scouting team.
I'm also on the scouting team. It's where we sit in the stands at competitions and we watch every single match to figure out which teams we may want to pick during the elimination rounds.
These
It all
robots
started
when you
with
beat
these
up.
same robots that you guys are building, these Lego robots. So we have the high school robot over there, and we kind of want to open it up if you guys have any questions about our experience or the robots. Yeah,
So, just out of curiosity, were you ever a Girl Scout?
I was a Girl Scout for 12 years. So I started out much like you guys did.
I was a Girl Scout for 2 years.
I'm not a Girl Scout since 5th grade. Still a Girl Scout.
Can you brag on yourself a little bit? I heard you got your gold award.
I did, and actually it was related to robots. So we started a robotic summer camp, and I did that as my gold award for Girl Scouts.
And how's that relate to Naomi and Hayley? Naomi and Hayley are actually they ran the Girl Scout camp, or the summer camp last week, and Hayley's been running it for the last 5 weeks. So Hayley's been in charge of 11 kids at a time, building robots and teaching them how to build those robots. And Naomi's been there too, doing the same thing. So these are leadership skills that they've learned from being on a robotics team.
And Danielle actually created the summer camps that we do.
And they're still going.
And they're still going 10 years later.
They're actually funding the team.
Yeah.
I like that it's different every day, so I solve a new problem every day. And so it's constantly changing and staying interesting.
So like how you said you like fuel the rocket and all that. How long does it usually take to do that?
So I'm working on a mission right now that I started in July of last year, and it launches in September. It's a long time. Yeah.
I can help later.
Any other questions?
What kind of things? Does somebody ask you a question?
You have to go to college and all to do what you do? I did. So I have a degree in electrical engineering. I have a bachelor's, so it took me. My program was 5 years. Usually it's 4 years, and I got my degree.
And why was it 5 years?
So I went to a special kind of program where for 18 months out of those 5 years we worked. So we came out with work experience.
And some of the places you worked were?
So I worked for Boeing, I've worked for Lockheed Martin, and now I currently work for BAE Systems.
And those are all engineering.
And what school was that you
I went to Drexel, it's a school in Philadelphia.
So you had to travel there.
What type of rocket are you working on right now?
One of the ones I'm working on right now is a target vehicle for the Patriot missile. So we're going to launch a missile, and the Army is going to shoot it out.
Cool stuff, huh?
So the project that you've been working on for a year plus will be taken down in how many seconds?
So the whole mission is 10 minutes, I think, is the length of the mission.
And it's 15 months of planning.
And it's 15 months.
Yeah. Because we have to
Put it in just the right
Skills
spot.
are good to have.
But like,
Amazing rocket.
Somebody has to program the rocket to go on a specific path.
Exactly.
Somebody has to program the interceptor to go on a specific path, and that's essentially those little building blocks that the girls just use across the
The
street.
exact same thing you guys are doing.
Imagine having two robots traveling at the speed of a bullet and pointing them at each other and having them hit. Think that's a challenge?
Yeah. I will be standing there when that happens.
Any other questions?
So Hayley and Naomi, what do you guys plan to do after you get out of high school?
Go to college.
Go to college?
Go to college.
Good.
That's I don't know what I want to major in college yet. Those options are still in the air, but I do hope it is something in engineering at some point because I do tend to go towards that. I've been trying to figure this out for a while and bouncing back between a coding background and engineering with like robotics and biomedical engineering.
And why engineering? What's exciting about engineering?
You're always solving a new problem, and it's something that helps benefits anything. So a bunch of different things you can do. Like you can do engineering with medically, you can do engineering with what you guys are doing right now, just solving different problems. You can do stuff like Danielle does with engineering the rockets, and there's so many different things you can just do about anything you can imagine. Yes.
Also,
lot of people.
So there's just a bunch of things you can do with there. Any other questions?
No, the world you guys live in today really wouldn't exist much without engineers. You know, if you think about all the things that engineers do, you know, they put dams on rivers to generate electricity so you guys can charge your phones, right? Or run your computers.
Who has a cell phone? You guys have those because engineers created them.
And are constantly improving them too. Whenever, you know, in the 80s, cell phones were very rare and they were like big bricks, right? And engineers worked on that because the market drove the companies that they worked for to build smaller and more powerful phones and cell phones. And now they're deciding. I mean, this cell phone here has more power than the rocket that went to the moon in 1969, if you can believe that. And that was an entire rocket ship full of computer stuff. And that's because engineers have been constantly designing and improving and doing that iterative design process that we just talked about, that you guys just did with your robot. So on a much smaller scale, you guys are doing the same things that engineers are doing.
Well, and if you think about engineering, the concept of engineering is to find a problem and create a solution, right? Do you guys understand that?
Yeah.
So for example, on a real basic scale, people, they had dogs that had short legs and they couldn't get up on the bed. And so somebody designed some type of little step system that the dogs could go up and get on the bed. That is a very basic example of an engineering project. There was a problem, somebody figured out a solution, designed it, and then it was built. And when you think about the bigger projects like they're talking about with the rockets and stuff, it's the same principle, it's just a bigger problem, right? So you probably do engineering approaches off and on throughout your life without even realizing it. Because you have a problem, you find a solution, and you make something to make it work. That is the engineering process.
Who's 10 when you go with a junior jam?
It's all the older ones that are.
How did you fix your problem?
One of our young ladies who was assigned to the knots actually used her knot skills, and we did knots to the top of the tent and tied it down to the bottom and held the tent up with 4 ropes. 4 ropes. And it was because of her knowing those skills and us figuring out what we need to do to hold it open. We could sleep out in the tent.
Yay.
And I think that was Alana's solution.
Do you guys know some different kinds of engineering? Name a few.
My dad is working on the rocket that's going up to Mars.
Cool. Do you
Oh,
know
that's
what
neat.
kind of engineering that is? So they probably call that one aerospace engineering. Anybody know any other kinds? In the back?
Traffic engineering.
Okay.
So traffic engineering deals with street lights and the amount of traffic, and they have to time out when the lights are green, when the lights are yellow, when the lights are red. And so that the city is able, or area, is able to run in this constant flow. Don't worry, I call my sister every day. You need to work on those lights.
Perfect. So what kind of engineering do you guys use today? What kind of engineering is it when you put the robot together? It's going to be a clue, but mechanically.
Oh,
There you go. Good one. What kind of engineering is it when you load software onto your robot?
software engineering.
Good job.
Ding ding.
What kind of engineering is it when you
Sweetie, don't tip your chair back.
so just we didn't it's not something we directly did today, but we needed it in order to use the robots. Electrical engineering, right? They have to design the power in the robot. Structural or materials engineering to design the Legos so they don't break that easily.
There's test engineers, right? There's engineers that will take your robots and run them and see if they do what they're supposed to do. You know, so when you get on big projects, they really start breaking down to a lot of different roles that the engineers do.
Yeah, so software engineering can also be called computer science. It's another kind of engineering. Yeah. You could be a computer engineer, and you could work on like, so there's kind of software engineering, computer engineering, and electrical engineering are all related. So electrical engineers put like the actual circuit components in a computer. Software engineers use the computer to program, and then computer engineers make sure that the computer can process the program. Kind of thing. They're all related.
So, how about this? How about who would like to see the robots their parents built perform? You guys want to do a little bit of demonstration here? Maybe we get one of the parent teams to show their robot, and then we get one of the kids to show their robot.
All right.
All right. Yeah. Please stand up and be sure to cheer for your teams.
Cheer for everybody's team. There you go.
Go for our team.
So